Let us talk about conquest today. Yes, conquest. Conquest is simply overpowering. Overpowering, just to overpower. That's it. Nothing more. When you see a boxer in the ring or a wrestler doing their thing, it's about conquest. Now, conquest is drawing my attention right now because it has a template. Unlike in the ancient times, there is a template now in conquest. Back in the day, that's in the ancient times, you can be subdued by sheer will and sheer force. Again, there were no guns in the ancient times. No guns. What we had was just bows and arrows and all those kinds of manual things. So the population, the strength, the number of people who show up to execute this conquest would so overwhelm you and subdue you. Africa was doing that. That was before Christ was born. That's a BC, before Christ. And then the BC era passed. We went into the AD, Anno Domini. In the BC era, which is before Christ, which the people changed to BCE, before the common era, BCE. Well, I'm still a fan of BC because that's what I was raised on. And we go over to AD, that's after Christ was born and after the death of Christ. Of course, AD doesn't really mean after the death of Christ. AD, no, it means Anno Domini, the year of the Lord, the year of dominion, the year of the king. When that period came, conquest was still going on because it's been going on for a long time. But something changed. It's called template. That template is of interest to me. I mean, it's fascinating to me. I like it. I like that template. Not that conquest is wonderful or good. No. Sometimes, when conquest comes into play, humanity suffers. And for me, anything that places humanity at its advantage, count me out. But we still got to talk about it because they exist. The fact that you don't like something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Or no, it exists. You only have to learn to deal with it. So conquest is one of those things that when you look to your left or to your right, conquest is going on. Someone is somewhere trying to conquer somebody or is already conquering somebody. So even in the modern era, when conquest is no longer by sheer force or will or volume or number of people, it has become so sophisticated that guns have been manufactured. All kinds of guns and all kinds of destructive elements and wares and hardwares and all things that just, I call it hell let loose. HELL. Hell let loose. Now, that's what you see in modern conquest. But it's still going on. So if you look around your corner, look at your tribe, look at your nation, because there are tribes, there are nations, there are countries and all that. In particular, look at your nation. Your nation is being conquered, or your nation is busy conquering another nation, because conquest has come to stay. It's getting even worse and more sophisticated. So what happens is that the template that comes out, I call it the playbook, is something I really don't like to talk about. I've held up to it, held on to it, held it off at bay and everything. But I still see that not talking about it is not solving any problem. Did you get that English? Not talking about it does not solve any problem. So, I gotta talk about it. The template, the playbook. And so, if you do not know the template or the playbook, then you will recognize it if it's at work. That is the main reason I decided to bring it out from the shelf. The template, the playbook. It's not something that you don't want to train people in how to use a template or the playbook. But if you remember that the playbook is already being used in different places, then talking about it becomes raising awareness for those who probably did not know about it prior. So that's just one reason I want to talk about it. Now let's get it. If you want to engage in conquest, anyway, you gotta have a reason to even engage in conquest. I don't even like conquest at all. I don't like it. But people are still doing it. Therefore, from the standpoint of the sufferer, listen to me. I would describe conquest, and so you recognize it when you see it. If you want to engage in conquest, you first of all identify the entity you want to conquer. That entity can be a company, it can be a village, a community, a tribe, a nation of people, a country. It has to be an entity. And your intention is to conquer that entity. Playbook. Think playbook. The first thing you will do is to tell yourself that this conquest will not be overnight. It will not take one day. It will take quite some time, but you got to start. You got to get on it. You got to keep on working at it. Keep on working at it. Knowing that every little milestone takes you nearer and nearer to the conquest. When you start, you demarcate or frame the entity you want to conquer. You begin to study the content of that entity. If it's an inanimate object, even like a company, a corporation, it's made up of human beings, so there are animate objects in the corporation. You want to study them, their mindset, their behavior, their mannerism, their culture, and everything representing that corporation. But let me forget about corporations. Let me talk about it from the point of view of a people. So don't be too abstract. You identify a group of people. You want to conquer the people. You go into the people. Begin to sow a seed of discord. Make friends. Make friends. Again, I'm not saying this thing to teach you how to conquer people. I'm saying it to you so that when you see it happening around you, you will recognize it. That's the reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be talking about this, because this is not inspiring at all. But because it's being used and people are being killed and all kinds of things are happening, I cannot, in all my conscience, keep quiet. I want to raise the awareness among those who are the sufferers, so you know to recognize the playbook when it is being executed on you. So again, like I was saying, go into that community or into that very tribe or that nation of people or that country. Go in there. Make friends for yourself. Begin to identify people. Begin to sow seeds of discord. Begin to teach some philosophies that are weird. And then as you keep going, you begin to find adherents to that your new philosophy. Begin to find followers. Begin to find personal friends, and begin to widen your circle until you have created a very big, what do I call it? Crater. It's a crater. Like a bombshell. What it creates, a crater. That's a big divide now. People on this side and people on the other side. In this array, singing a whole different song from each side. When you do that, you have successfully divided the people. And then you begin to identify those on the side that you are propagating. Look for the, what do you call it? The ones that are so ardent. Identify them. Begin to select them. Begin to empower them one by one. When you do that, they will begin to dance to your tune. Because they have to listen to you very well. They have to follow your instructions. They have to do what you say. And they have to begin to serve as an extension of your arm. That's what they are. You will so begin to deepen the division. Deepen it more and more. Begin to empower those you selected. Begin to equip them. Bad blood. Begin to use those ones who you are selected to destabilize the entire place. That is the playbook. Again, I'm saying it so that when you see it, you recognize it. Then what happens is that your tribe becomes destabilized. Your tribe begins to witness enmity among the people. Brothers killing brothers, friends killing friends, because they are subjecting themselves to or subordinating themselves to weird philosophies. And some are subordinating themselves because they are getting money. Some are doing it because they really, really believe in that philosophy. So either way, the intruder, the enemy, the conqueror is getting results. Whether you believe the lie or not, it's not his business. But the point is that you are working along the lines that the conqueror wants. Just be obedient. Just be a subordinate. Just be a lieutenant. Be the messenger. Be the minion. Alright? Do whatever you are told to do. Kill your relatives. Kill your friends. Kill your people. Reduce our population. Because as you are doing it, your tribe or your nation of people will begin to reduce in population until you don't have enough people anymore to resist any advancing troops. And when that happens, you will be overrun. You become history. That's the playbook. In a nutshell, a seed of discord is sown in your midst. That seed grows and germinates, and your people get divided. And from that division, those who are supporting the new idea that you don't even know, they don't even know that it was sown as a seed by the enemy with an intention to divide you and destroy and overrule and overcome and overwhelm and subjugate. Then the enemy will use them against each other. They'll keep killing each other until there's no one left. That time, the enemy comes in and executes the final plunder. And nobody can resist the enemy because there's no one left. All the backbones of the community, destroyed. That is the playbook. So look around you. Do you see such a playbook? Are you among those implementing that kind of playbook? Or are you among those who are suffering the effects of such a playbook? Is happening in all parts of the world. But check yourself. Number one, it is very bad to pitch people against their brothers so they can kill each other to make the work easier for you to just come in and take possession. That is conquest in a nutshell. It's a long story though, but I just have to summarize it because we don't have enough time. So you can wear your thinking cap and begin to study the things happening in your environment, things happening around you, things happening in your community, in your state, in your tribe, in your country. Begin to look at it because Africa has been suffering from conquest for a long time. But now, what do you see? You see Africans conquering Africans. Of course, you know that somebody is behind it. Some external forces are behind it, making Africans to pitch against their brothers so that they will continue to be weak. And as long as they remain weak, fighting each other, they cannot even achieve anything, no progress, nothing, then the enemy will be plundering while they are doing it. And in some cases, it ends up in the enemy coming in finally and wiping everyone out and taking over the land. The land. Because Adam Smith talked about it. The land. Adam Smith. Go and look up Adam Smith in what he called Wealth of Nations. Wealth of Nations. The land is the very first thing right there. Anyway, today we're talking about conquest. Don't engage in conquest. But if you find out that your area, your nation, your tribe, your community, your country is suffering from conquest, understand it and stop supporting the enemy. That is to say, stop killing your people. Because the more you kill your people, the more you fall out with your people and quarrel with your people, you are giving the enemy what the enemy wants. Enemy be somewhere drinking champagne and having a blast while you are all killing each other. Once the time comes, they say, okay, now they don't have enough population anymore. Let's swoop on them. They swoop on you and no one is left. The land goes. And all the cry that Adam Smith has been crying will be in vain. I mean, in your own case, it will be in vain. And it will be like Adam Smith did not even inform you. So please, go back to Adam Smith. Learn about what he has said. And make sure that you don't go to support the enemy who will plunder you and wipe everyone out. Conquest is bad. See it and recognize it. Don't be blind. When you see conquest, take it. Take on it. Take on it. Don't kill your brothers and your people. Don't kill your people. Because when you're doing it, you may not even know, but you got to know it now. After listening to me, you got to know that when you're killing your people, you are helping some enemy that you might not even know. Conquest is the game. It's a playbook that's out there. I have given you a summary of the playbook today. Not for you to go and conquer people, but for you to recognize conquest when it is being unleashed on you. Conquest is bad.